What's up guys, welcome back to Finance to Fly. My name is Luke and I'm here to help you elevate your travel while minimizing your spending. To date, we are going to be covering the AmEx Gold Card in 2025 and seeing if it still holds its value it did as the same last year. By the way, I did do a review on this back in 2024 of the summer when they revamped it. I made some guidance guesses on what it would stay like over the next year and if I would keep it, and today I wanted to revisit this card, see if it still has its same value and see if it's still worth it in 2025. Start things off, you got the $325 annual fee. It comes with a 60,000 point sign-up bonus after $6,000 spent in the first 6 months. Of course, this is their standard sign-up bonus. You can get 75, 90, or even 100,000 points after the same amount of spend and the same amount in months. I would go for the elevated offer. Look for the 100,000 point offer. It's much more worth it than the 60,000 points. Just to give you a base value, it's about $400 worth more for just taking a little bit of extra time to find that offer. For earnings rates, you're going to earn 4 points per dollar spent on restaurants up to the first $50,000 spent, 4 points per dollar spent on groceries up to the first $25,000 spent, 3 points per dollar spent on airfare, and then 1 point per dollar spent everywhere else. For the benefits of the card, you get some minor travel and purchase protections. You're gonna get a $120 Uber credit, which is $10 a month, a $120 dining credit, which is $10 a month. You can use at Grubhub, Cheesecake Factory, Five Guys, Wine.com, and Gold Belly. You get the $84 Dunkin' credit, which is $7 a month, and then $100 in Resi credits, which is $50 biannually. So what is this card worth? Well, let's put the $325 up on the screen now. First, we'll start off with the Uber credit. That's an easy $120 you should be able to get back. It loads into your Uber account. You can use it for Uber Eats. You can use it for regular Uber. You can even use it for an Uber One subscription if you decide to use that as your payment method. I think it's a very solid option. I think it's a very solid credit. It should be super easy to use because of the option to use it with Uber Eats. You should be able to get this, I'd say 9 out of 10 months, but because it's 120 bucks, let's just keep it at $120 in value. Of course, you might miss a month here or there, but should be able to get most of the value, if not all of it, all the time. So $120 on the screen now. Then you have the dining credit. You should also be able to use this every month. I know I've been able to. Maybe I missed a month or two here and there, but using it with Grubhub, being able to pick up a burrito from Chipotle once a month, that's how a good way to use it. Order Chipotle on your Grubhub, go pick it up. Costs the same as going in person, maybe $1 or $2 more, and then you get that credit back. It's pretty easy to use. You should be able to get $120 out of it every month. We'll count that as that. Next up, you have the $7 a month Dunkin' credit. Find it funny that it's $7, but it's money you can get earned back. I think it's really easy to too. I'm pretty sure you can load it into the Dunkin' credit app so that you can stack them up and save them for longer, save them for later. I personally don't shop at Dunkin', but I'm sure a lot of people do. And so I think this $7 credit is pretty easy to use, especially if you load it into the app. You're not able to use it 1 month, just load it into the app, then you can use it next month, maybe even stack it 2-3 months, get a bunch of donuts, bring it in the office, something like that. Last but not least, you do have the $50 biannual Resi credit, so $100 in total. You should be able to get this. Then again, it just depends on how much you travel and what city you live in. For Cleveland, there's not many Resi restaurants, but traveling Vegas, LA, Boston, New York, Chicago, Miami, Nashville. Traveling those big cities, you should have Resi restaurants, and as long as you travel, I guess, once every 6 months into one of those cities or a place, you should be able to use this Resi credit at one of those restaurants. They're a little bit nicer restaurants sometimes, but get that $50 credit. It should be pretty easy to use as long as you don't have to go out of your way continuously to use it, so you should be able to get the $100 each year on that. In total, you're going to get $424 in credits on that $325 annual fee, which puts you right at $99 ahead of the annual fee. Of course, that is 38 credits you have to use. Of course, now we're going to move on to redemptions. I'm going to show you a redemption right now that you probably shouldn't do. So AmEx, you are allowed to transfer to Choice hotels. It's not talked about a lot because it's not a good value. I don't think you should transfer them to Choice ever, but wanted to show you a redemption, just one of them that you could see that shows poor value. We're going to be staying at this hotel in the Riviera Maya. It's a Ventus. Not really sure what about this brand is. I'll probably try to do more research down the road, but just for a standard point redemption, it's 45,000 points a night or $315 a night. I know that you can obviously find more value, better value from these points, but this was just a redemption I decided to look up. You don't get good value for it. I'm not even going to talk about the cent per point because it's less than 1 cent per point. It's around 0.66 cents per point. So I wouldn't redeem points with Choice Hotels, but want to let you know that that option is available if you wanted to. Next up, we're going to be transferring our points over to Etihad Airways. This one's going to be a one-way non-stop first class ticket from JFK to Abu Dhabi. We've done this redemption a couple times, just like to rehash it every couple months, show you that it's still available, still a good redemption. 160,000 miles and about $544 will get you that first class ticket in the Etihad first class seat. That's much better than paying the almost $9,800 you pay for the same ticket with a cash rate, and that's a great cent per point value. And you get the cent per point value by taking the cash cost, subtracting the taxes and fees, dividing by the points amount. It is a 5.76 cent per point value. That's an incredible value for your points. If you're earning 4 points per dollar spent on dining, that's over 20% cash back technically. Obviously you'd have to get a round trip ticket or whatnot, but if this is your one-way itinerary that could work for you, it's a great value for your points. Last but not least, we're going to look at a round trip ticket to Bali. This is going to be in business class, and it's honestly going to be an incredible value for your points. Not only point-wise, but just convenience-wise. This is going to be a great way to get to Bali. It's going to be a one-way business class ticket from JFK to Bali, booked on Singapore Air. It's a super solid way. It's 223,000 miles and about $95 in taxes and fees for 2 people, business class. That's much better than the $8,700 cash rate you'd be paying for the same ticket for both people. And guess what? That gets you a solid 3.84 cents per point value, which is an incredible value for your points. And if you were trying to get to Bali, I definitely would book this. Only thing is, this is a tip for when you're trying to book this, you got to book it almost a year out. I was looking for these redemptions, blah, 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 and it was taking me forever to find one of these. I ended up looking right to the end, right to the first things that are opened up for, I guess, a year in advance, and these were available. So if you are looking at trying to book this trip, I'd be ready to book it a year in advance. So now for my thoughts and who I think this card is for. I think this card is very interesting, and I think it's still for a lot of people. Personally, I had it up until December when my annual fee hit. Got a retention offer of 20,000 points after 2,000 spend in the first 3 months. I was like, that's not enough to cover the annual fee. I don't really want that right now. I downgraded to the AmEx Green, and I'm pretty happy I did that. I'm saving the $175 on the annual fee difference from the Amex Gold to the Amex Green. I still get 3 points per dollar spent on dining, still get 3 points per dollar spent on airfare. I don't get grocery, but I got a saver one, so that is counting it as a grocery at 3 points per dollar spent. I have no limits on any of those compared to what the Gold has, and I'm paying less in annual fees. Not only that, I don't have to pay that high annual fee, and guess what? I don't have to spend 38 credits over a year to get more than the annual fee back. Only $99, by the way, above the annual fee. You have to have 38 credits. Hit 38 credits. 3 credits a month plus 2 biannual credits. That is an incredible amount of credits you have to use in order to get the money back for this annual fee. And if you have 2, 3, 4 other cards with credits, you're hitting 60, 70 credits a year that you have to use. And that is so tedious, so annoying, and I really don't like that. So I did decide to downgrade from the Gold to the Green. That's why I did, and that's kind of where my thoughts are. This card is great, don't get me wrong. You can use it if you eat out, if you like eating out, you like Uber Eats, Grubhub, stuff like that. Uber Eats and Grubhub credits, super easy to use. The Dunkin' credit, if you eat the Dunkin', that's super easy to use. The Resi credit, super easy to use if you have Resi restaurants around you. If you don't do that, if that does not fit into your lifestyle, you're probably not going to change just so you can get the card. I wouldn't get the card if this doesn't fit into your lifestyle. If you want to change your lifestyle, sure. I mean, you have to eat out 3-4 times a month at least just to get all these credits. It's up to you, honestly. If your lifestyle is, hey, I eat out 3-4 times a week, then yeah, this credit is so for you. If you order your lunch in for work, it's so for you. I mean, Uber Eats, you get the Uber credit, which it can count for Uber Eats. You get the Grubhub credit, which you can order in. It's honestly a great way to save some money and get some money back on your annual fee. If that doesn't apply to you, or you don't use it that much, I would stay away from this card. There's 3 point per dollar multiplier on the Saver one for both restaurants and groceries, and you pay $0 in annual fee. And you don't have a limit on it. It's honestly a much better option as long as you don't care that the Capital One miles are not as valuable as the American Express miles. Will I switch back to the Amex Gold? Probably. I have an upgrade offer right now of 30,000 points back after I spent $1,000 in the first 3 months. It's a solid offer, but right now I just don't see myself doing that because I have another couple high annual fee cards with the Ritz-Carlton cards, stuff like that, where my annual fees are gotten too high, and I don't need that extra 1 point per dollar spent multiplier on grocery and dining. where I have it on 3 different other cards at 3 points per dollar spent. I think it's a very unique card with the Amex Gold. It's a very nice card. If it is your only card that you have and you eat out a decent amount, then yes, it makes super much sense. I mean, the 3 points per dollar spent on the airfare is incredible. It allows you to use that as not only a food card, but a travel card too. I mean, 2 points per dollar spent is the difference between the Amex Gold and the Amex Platinum on flight. Is that really worth the almost $400 in differences in annual fees? I don't know. Obviously, you get more credits with the Amex Platinum, blah, blah, blah. But comparing annual fees and point rates to themselves, the Amex Gold is only 2 points per dollar spent less than the Amex Platinum. It's a very nice card to have if you need to use flights a lot. I'm not in any way, shape, or form going to say it's not a card you should get, because it is. It honestly is a good card to get. Not only that, it's a good card to start off with. Why am I saying that? Because you get to understand your spending habits and you get to track your spending habits a little bit better than you probably do now. Because you have those credits, you start to understand, hey, I don't eat out as much as I thought I did. I do eat out as much as I thought I did, and I enjoy these credits. It kind of gets you to understand, hey, where am I at in this game? Am I able to hit all 38 of those credits? Am I only hitting 10 of those credits a year, right? It kind of gives you more self-awareness on what your spending habits are. And honestly, that's why I like the card. At least hold it for a first year. Track how many credits you get. If you don't get at least half those credits, look for another card. I mean, it'll save you money. You're saving more money by keeping it in your pocket than paying the annual fee and then working your way back. It's easier to hold the money in your wallet than it is to earn it back through monthly credits. That's kind of where I'm at. So now who this card is for? Say for anyone that does eat out a lot, this card is for you. Anyone that travels a lot and eat out a lot, this is definitely for you. It can help you out. Uber's, Grubhub, stuff like that. Anyone that I guess is starting to learn these credit card games and you really want to get yourself immersed into it, you want to understand your spending habits a little bit better. It is a $325 annual fee, but you'll learn a lot. I know with the annual fee on the $250, I didn't really care that much about if I hit the credit 1 week or not, 1 month or not, because if I miss 2-3 credits, I'm still only out $30-40 on the annual fee total, right? This time, if I miss a couple credits, it's a lot more money I'm out, and you'll understand yourself more because you don't want to be wasting your money. And I think that's a great way to say that. Also, I'm not saying you should get this as your starter card. I think you should learn the credit card game first. I think you should start with a $0 annual fee card first off. The first card you should have is always a $0 annual fee card because that's going to stay on your credit history the longest. You're going to want to keep that open the longest because it helps build your better credit history. Do not get your first card to have a high annual fee. You do not want to have an over $100 annual fee card as your first card because your first card you want to hold forever because of the credit history. If you have to cancel that card because it's the annual fee just gets too much, your credit history is going to hurt a little bit, not in the short term, but in the long term because of that. So I guess my recommendation is a little bit scattered, but it's a good card. You should look at it still. I think it's still worth it in 2025 as long as you eat out a lot more. So wrapping things up, what do you think? Did I get anything right? Did I get anything wrong? Do you think my review is valid on the Amex Gold? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you could hit that like and subscribe button, it would be greatly appreciated. Until next time, have a great day.